Welcome to This Explainer. I'm stepping in as your strategic head coach today, and we are heading straight into the film room. We're breaking down the principal examiner's playbook for the Cambridge 9709 Mathematics AS and A-level exam, specifically targeting topic 4.1, Forces and Equilibrium. We're treating this exactly like a championship game film review, where the examiner's marking rubrics are the defensive strategies we absolutely have to beat. Imagine we're looking at game tape of two players. Alex, who plays heavy defense but lacks speed on open-ended questions, and Sam, a fast attacker who gets really sloppy with execution. We're going to learn from both of them today. Okay, let's dive into this. So, why do so many candidates drop the ball and lose marks here? Let's acknowledge the pain point right out of the gate. Most students lose incredibly easy marks on identifying forces and drawing force diagrams. It happens every single year. You know the math, you've studied the formulas, but the execution just falls flat under the intense pressure of the exam clock. But my promise to you is that by the end of this session, you will not be one of them. You're going to know exactly what the examiners are scouting for.
Here is our tactical briefing for the day. First, core principles. Second, the method mark strategy. Third, top examiner warnings. And fourth, game day preparation.
Section 1. Core Principles, the Equilibrium Trap. Listen to this direct quote pulled straight from the academic benchmarks. The assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. What does that actually mean for you? Well, examiners don't just want to see a bunch of lines hastily drawn on a page. They demand logical, structured reasoning. They want to know exactly why a specific force is there, not just that you memorized a generic shape from a textbook.
Think of it like this. Superficial breadth means you're just throwing out plays randomly. It's like our player Sam, hastily listing forces, weight, tension, friction, just hoping one of them happens to be right. Analytical depth, on the other hand, means you are establishing precise definitions and, crucially, clear causal relationships. You have to understand exactly how one force interacts with another to create a state of equilibrium. It is absolutely crucial to build your foundation on those precise definitions and causal relationships. But here is the ultimate insider secret, pulled directly from principal examiner reports. Candidates who reference cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. Let me say that again, because it's a game changer. Integrating your equilibrium knowledge with other syllabus areas is your secret weapon to completely breaking through their defensive line. Moving on to Section 2, the Method Mark Strategy, Tactical Execution. All right, here is your 5-step procedural framework for tackling complex examination questions. Step 1, deconstruct the question. Step 2, extract the relevant data. Step 3, select your analytical framework. Step 4, execute with clear notation. And Step 5, present with correct terminology. Our player Alex gets stuck because he doesn't have a system. But if you memorize this exact sequence, you are mapping out a guaranteed path to securing those critical method marks every single time. You get credit just for running the right play. Let's zoom in on that extraction phase, because data interpretation skills in topic 4.1 are absolutely critical. If you're struggling to organize complex scenarios, visualize a 3-column table in your head. First, extract the raw data from the texts or tables. Second, interpret the relationships between those forces. And third, draw your evidence-based conclusions. You've got to organize your findings logically before you even think about jumping into the math. Hey, quick timeout. If you want to stay at the top of the league table this exam season and keep getting these insider strategies, make sure to subscribe to Ace the Exams and enable all notifications right now. Okay, whistle blown, let's get back to the tape. Practical application demands professional skills. You absolutely must use proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and crystal clear annotations. If your force diagram is a mess, you are literally fumbling the ball and handing easy marks right back to the examiner. Don't be like Sam and rush the presentation. Section 3. Top examiner warnings. Spot the penalty. We're looking at the top 3 documented mistakes that cost top grades. Coming in at warning number 3. Students simply forget to check their format and presentation against the strict examiner conventions. Like we just discussed, failing to adhere to these rules on your force diagrams is a massive unforced error. Do not lose a mark simply because you forgot an arrowhead or a clear label. Warning number 2. This is a big one. Students critically confuse cause and effect. Remember when we talked about causal relationships earlier? Well, examiners constantly report that candidates mix up which force is actually causing the reaction and which is the effect in equilibrium scenarios. You have to clearly map out the mechanics of the system before you solve. And here we are. The number one classic mistake, the ultimate examiner alert. This is the absolute biggest penalty on the field that will completely derail your otherwise perfect math. Any guesses?
It's providing generic answers instead of context-specific links. The examiner reports are explicitly clear on this. The classic mistake is writing down generic answers that are not specific to the question's context. You must always link every single point, every force, and every equation directly to the specific scenario given in the prompt. A generic textbook definition will literally score 0 if it isn't applied directly to the problem in front of you.
Section 4. The Game Day Preparation Checklist.
To reach the absolute highest assessment tier, you need to elevate your thinking. Your framework has to hit descriptive, analytical, and evaluative levels. You've got to identify the limitations and assumptions made in the model. You need to evaluate alternative approaches. And crucially, check for reasonableness. Ask yourself, does that force value actually make sense in the real world? Then make your justified recommendations. This level of critical analysis is exactly what separates an A from an A-star.
Before we wrap this film review, here is a really powerful memory hack straight from our strategic sources. Create your own mnemonic using the first letters of key terms from our procedural framework. Deconstruct, extract, select, execute, present. DESEP. Make it something fun and memorable so that under the intense pressure of the exam, you automatically fall back on your training and run the play perfectly without even thinking about it. All right, team, that is the final whistle. You now have the Principal Examiner's Playbook. If you want to stay at the top of the league table this exam season, hit subscribe to Ace the Exams, click that notification bell, practice the method mark strategy, and drop a comment below with your current tier and your goal grade. But I'm going to leave you with this final thought. When you are staring down a massive 15-mark equilibrium question with only 5 minutes left on the clock, are you going to rely on a generic textbook guess, or are you going to execute the perfect play? The choice is entirely yours. Keep studying hard, and I'll see you in the next one.